What's going on, Doc? Welcome to the Simplified Integration Podcast. My name is Dr. Andrew Wells. I'm so excited to have you on today for episode number 5, How to Make $70,000 in 30 Days. Leonardo da Vinci once said that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, and I agree. You see, the problem with the way that most consulting groups approach medical integration is anything but simple. In fact, it's the exact opposite. It's expensive, it's complicated, and quite frankly, it's exhausting. Enough is enough. There are far too many amazing integrated clinics that are struggling. Well, I'm on a mission to change that. What I've come to find from over 5 years working with integrated practices is that simplicity really is the secret. The old saying of less is more is true. Through a streamlined approach, I was able to create multiple successful 7-figure integrated clinics, and now I'm going to show you how you can do the same. Join me as I share with you the secrets to successful medical integration and practice growth. Join me on a journey to greater sophistication through innovation. I'm Dr. Andrew Wells, and welcome to the Simplified Integration Podcast. All right, Doc, so it's great to have you back. So this is part 5 of a series I'm doing called the 7-Figure Shortcut. And my goal with this series is to help catapult your office to new growth, new profits, more than you've ever had before. And I'm really trying to provide as much value as I can. So not only can you can see this for your future and for the future of your practice, but you can actually implement this in a very simple way. If you've listened to my podcast, obviously you know I'm into simplicity. I'm into making things as easy as possible for you because that's when it's the most rewarding and you get the best results, frankly. And so part 5 is how to make $70,000 in 30 days. And you may think like, well, that's a ton of money. No one's ever done that. I can't do that. And the reality is I've seen offices do this over and over and over and over again, but there's a formula for it. Now, the whole reason, I'm not a big guy in saying oh yeah, we collect 6 figures and 7-figure offices and all that. That's not really me, but numbers and statistics are important. And when you're looking at revenue, obviously for a practice and a business, that's a really important number to look at. And also if you've listened to my podcast, obviously you know that I'm into regenerative medicine and simplified ways of doing integration. So I want to tie all this together and show you that this is possible. It's possible to create a multiple 6-figure and even a 7-figure business in a very short amount of time. However, there is a way to do that. It's a simple way to do it. Now, how do you bring in $70,000 in 30 days? And I kind of want to quote Dr. Sonny Gill on this. He always talks about having gold in your practice. There's gold in your practice. So what I mean by that is, let's say you have a brand new therapy, right? And you want to introduce this therapy into your practice. The best way to do that is to market it to your existing patients. And this is so overlooked. It's so overlooked. Oftentimes, you start a new therapy or a new protocol procedure, and the first thing you do is start taking out Facebook ads and doing marketing and doing external marketing, when the reality is, if you're picking the right therapies, there are probably patients in your office that could benefit from these therapies. So this is how, I talked a little bit about this in the last podcast, but this is how we introduce regenerative medicine to our clinic. And this is exactly how I recommend doing it in your practice. So you've decided to do regenerative medicine, and you've paid a consulting company, you've paid me to show you how to do that, and you want to make sure you get a return on your investment as soon as possible. Well, I'm going to show you how you can get a huge, massive ROI within your first month. And this is really critical. And this is really important to me as a consultant, as someone who helps and coaches chiropractors. I always wanted to make sure in whatever I'm creating and the things that I'm teaching to chiropractors, I want to make sure that they can pay for whatever I'm teaching in a really short amount of time. And the reason for that is I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably close to 7 figures, in coaching programs, in courses, in books, and training programs. And sometimes those courses sat on a shelf. Sometimes those courses took me years literally to implement or even to understand. And the ones that I liked the best were the ones that I could understand and I could implement and profit from right away. And I'm a big advocate of that. So here's how you make $70K in your practice in less than 30 days. So you've decided to do regenerative medicine because of all the benefits and the fact that it's a high ticket service. So what you want to do is promote this to your office, right? So the way you do that, there's several ways to do it. It's not just putting up flyers in your office. If you've ever put up a flyer in your office, chances are to promote an event or a seminar, there's a good chance not many people showed up to that event. Am I right? So you want to promote this in multiple different ways in your office. So put up flyers in your office. If you have a TV, post a promotion, post a short video that you've made describing this new service, send out an email blast. But the most powerful thing is one-on-one conversation between the doctor and the patient. So here's how this goes. So Mary comes in for adjustment. Hey, Mary, great to see you today. I'm not sure if you've heard, if you've seen the flyers or have gotten the emails yet, but we're really excited to introduce a brand new therapy into our office called regenerative medicine. And by the way, docs, just to pause, you could insert any new therapy into this script. So whether it's nutrition or functional medicine or lab tests, whatever that is, you can insert it in this script. So, hey, Mary, I just want to let you know we have a great new service called Regenerative Medicine. I know that you're here because you have neck and back pain, but you also mentioned, and I know you've been struggling with some shoulder pain. And I have a feeling that this new therapy we're offering might really help with your shoulder. So what I would love for you to do is come to, we're hosting a free seminar this coming Thursday at 6:00. I would love if you and your husband can come to this seminar. It's going to be right here in the office. It's free. And we're going to go in depth about how this amazing new therapy can help with your shoulder. And by the way, it has nothing to do with drugs or surgery or anything like that. In fact, it helps our patients avoid those things. So you don't want to miss it. We're going to have a bunch of, this is just for our patients. We're not opening this up to the community. This is just an exclusive event for our amazing patients here in our practice. So then wait for a response. If Mary says, yeah, that sounds really interesting. Okay, great. Is that something that you think you can attend? Yeah, I think I can do that. What you're going to do is you're going to walk with Mary up to your front desk and tell your front desk staff or your chiropractic assistant, hey, Mary seems really interested in the regenerative medicine seminar this Thursday. Would you make sure to give her some information and make sure she signs up, get her name signed up on the list. So you'll have her sign up on the list, put her name on there, maybe her husband's name, phone number, all that stuff, and just get her committed to showing up. Now, if you don't have those conversations with your patients, you're going to miss out on a bunch of patients, right? Because they'll read the flyer and they won't know how that applies to them, or they may misconstrue the idea, or they may think that regenerative medicine is something that it's not, right? So you want to have a one-on-one conversation with each of your patients. Now, when I first did this, I had this conversation with every patient, even people I knew weren't good candidates or wouldn't benefit from it, because they may know somebody in their family or friends that could benefit from it, that could, we could invite to a future seminar. So I have a conversation with everybody. And I think that if they're a patient or a practice member in your practice, they deserve to know what kind of therapies that you offer. They're your best ambassadors and spokespeople. So that's what we did. We had, we limited the event to, I think it was like 30 people. When I say we had a few more people actually show up. By the way, our regenerative medicine seminar was the highest attended internal seminar that we've ever had in our office. It was better than like our holiday events and our potluck dinners and our nutrition events, all those things. Very well attended because people are looking for these kinds of therapies. So that Thursday night came. I think we actually separated into two different seminars. We had a noon seminar. Sometimes our older patients don't like to come to later events because it gets dark outside and they're tired. So we split it up. I want to say we had like 15, 20 patients in the 12 o'clock, and then we did a 6 o'clock seminar with about the same amount of people. And the reason I think it's really valuable to present this information to your current patient base is because you're going to mess things up along the way, right? So you're not going to have your scripts down. You may fumble up the information. Your presentation probably isn't very polished. That comes with time. So it's a great audience to practice on because they're so forgiving, right? If they like you and trust you, they're going to be forgiving on, if you don't know the answers to certain questions or you make a mistake in your presentation, like they're really forgiving. So it makes it a really easy way to kind of get your feet in the water and start helping people. So we did our first seminar. It wasn't pretty, but we got the information out and we had a bunch of people sign up for consultations. So we did the seminar the same day. We did consultations right after that. If you didn't listen to the last podcast, episode number 4, we had a ton of patients sign up, and my first patient decided to do 3 joints, both of her knees and her shoulder. So that was $9,600. Our second patient decided to do both of her knees. So that was $7,400. And that pattern went on for like the next 3 days. So we did that on Thursday, Friday, and the following Monday. And when we looked back, we got through all of our consultations. We looked back. I can't remember the exact figure, but we did something like high 60s to $70,000 in collections from one internal seminar. I still smile about that, thinking back on that, but that was more money than we typically collected in a month. And we did that in 1 week. So my mind was blown. Holy cow, this is, I saw my practice in a very different way. And, we helped a lot of people with that first run. And so the beauty behind this was that it allowed us, so that $70K, we were able to invest back in our business. So we were able to pay consulting fees, and we also use that money now to start advertising to our community, right? Because let's say you're adding a new therapy, like one of the toughest things to do is to come up with the money to start advertising, promoting this amazing new service. So the $70,000 that we collected, we could now put toward newspaper ads and Facebook ads and radio advertising. So with this massive budget, we can spread our message out to our community. And so that one seminar led to a successful second seminar and third seminar and fourth seminar, and the success just built on itself. So that's how we were able to quickly get our new program off the ground without having to go into the red. We were profitable from day one, the first month. So we were able to collect this a really massive amount of money and make sure that our program was successful in the days, weeks, months, and years to come. So that's not unique to our office. I've known dozens of offices who have done the same thing, but there's a strategy to it, right? There's a way to implement a new service to your practice in a successful way, in a profitable way that's easy for you and your staff to take the reins on. So, Doc, I hope this was really successful for you. I hope this was great information from you. And I just want to give you a picture that, yes, you can do this in your practice. You don't have to have a mega practice to make this thing run. There are patients in your office right now that are looking for these types of services and that want what you do and want to buy from you. So hope you found this helpful. This wraps up episode 5 of 5 for the 7-figure shortcut. Great to have you on here, Doc. I can't wait to see you on the next episode. Hope you have a fantastic day. Bye-bye. Hey, innovators. Thanks for listening to the Simplified Integration Podcast. The fact that you're listening tells me that you're like me, someone who loves simplicity. And the truth is, those who embrace simplicity are some of the greatest innovators. So I hope you got a ton of value from what we covered on today's episode. Be sure to subscribe and share with other docs that you feel could benefit from greater sophistication through simplification and innovation. If you've got specific questions that you'd like answered on this podcast, or you've got specific topics that you'd like me to discuss, just shoot me an email at info@integrationsecrets.com. That's info@integrationsecrets.com.